Welcome, wanderers of the dark and seekers of the unknown, to Whispers on the Asphalt, your go-to channel for spine-tingling tales and haunted histories. Here, we explore the eerie corners of the world where shadows stretch longer than they should and the hum of tires on pavement is often accompanied by whispers from beyond. Today, we embark on a chilling journey along some of the most haunted highways in the Pacific Northwest, a region renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, dense forests, and a rich tapestry of folklore that blurs the line between myth and reality. The Pacific Northwest, with its mist-shrouded mountains, winding coastal roads, and endless stretches of wilderness, has long been a breeding ground for ghostly legends and unexplained phenomena. These highways, carved through rugged terrain and steeped in history, are more than mere conduits for travel. They are corridors of mystery, where the past lingers like fog over a moonlit lake. From spectral hitchhikers to phantom vehicles, from cursed landmarks to blood-soaked stretches of asphalt, these roads hold secrets that defy explanation and challenge the boundaries of belief. In this two-part series, we will peel back the layers of the supernatural, revealing the haunting stories behind the region's most infamous routes. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your courage tested as we delve into the unknown. So buckle up, keep your headlights on, and join us as we navigate the shadowy highways of the Pacific Northwest. Let the journey begin. The enigmatic allure of Oregon's haunted places. Oregon, a state renowned for its lush forests, rugged coastlines, and majestic mountains, holds within its verdant embrace an array of mysteries that transcend the natural world. Beneath its serene landscapes and vibrant cities lie places steeped in eerie tales and spectral legends. Places where the veil between this world and the next seems perilously thin. Welcome to Most Haunted Places in Oregon, Episode 11, where we embark on a chilling journey through some of the Beaver State's most haunted locales. These sites are not merely remnants of history, they are living theaters of the supernatural, each with its own spine-tingling narrative. Imagine walking through mist-shrouded woods where whispers from another era beckon you closer. Picture standing in a decrepit asylum, feeling the weight of countless souls who once called it home. Or consider spending a night in an ancient hotel, where shadows move of their own accord and cold spots linger inexplicably in empty hallways. These are the kinds of experiences that await those brave enough to explore Oregon's haunted heritage. From abandoned prisons echoing with the cries of former inmates to lighthouses perched precariously on rocky cliffs, haunted by the spirits of sailors lost to the unforgiving sea, Oregon offers a diverse array of haunted hotspots. Each location carries its own unique brand of terror, shaped by the events that unfolded there and the lives touched, or cut short, by tragedy. Whether it's the restless spirit of a jilted lover haunting a historic mansion or the phantom footsteps of soldiers marching through Civil War-era battlefields, these stories resonate deeply because they tap into universal human fears: fear of the unknown, fear of loss, and fear of what might await us after death. What sets Oregon apart is how seamlessly its natural beauty intertwines with its paranormal intrigue. The dense forests seem almost alive, whispering secrets only the wind can understand. The ocean crashes against jagged rocks as if trying to wash away sins committed long ago. Even the small towns, nestled quietly among rolling hills and fertile valleys, harbor dark histories waiting to be uncovered. This juxtaposition of breathtaking scenery and bone-chilling lore creates an irresistible allure for anyone fascinated by the macabre. As we delve deeper into these haunted places, prepare yourself for encounters that defy logic and challenge your perception of reality. You'll meet ghosts bound to earthly realms by unfinished business, poltergeists wreaking havoc without discernible motive, and entities whose origins remain shrouded in mystery. These aren't just ghost stories, they're windows into the past, offering glimpses of lives disrupted, loves lost, and tragedies endured. And while skepticism may shield you from belief, curiosity will undoubtedly pull you closer, urging you to peel back the layers of history and confront the shadows lurking beneath. So, dear viewer, gather your courage and join us as we step off the beaten path and into the heart of Oregon's haunted enclaves. Whether you're here for thrills, chills, or simply a deeper understanding of the unexplained, one thing is certain: the tales we're about to share will leave an indelible mark on your psyche. Let's begin our descent into the shadowy corners of Oregon's haunted legacy, where every creak, every flicker of light, and every whisper in the dark could be a sign that you're not alone. The Shanghai Tunnels, Portland's subterranean nightmare. Beneath the bustling streets of Portland lies a labyrinthine network of tunnels that form one of Oregon's most infamous haunted locations, the Shanghai Tunnels. These underground passageways, constructed during the late 19th century, were originally intended to facilitate the movement of goods between businesses and docks along the Willamette River. However, their purpose soon took a sinister turn, earning them a reputation as a hub of criminal activity and human suffering. Today, the tunnels stand as a chilling testament to Oregon's darker history, where the echoes of despair still reverberate through damp, claustrophobic corridors. The term, Shanghaiing, refers to the practice of kidnapping unsuspecting individuals, often sailors, immigrants, or drifters, and forcing them into servitude aboard ships destined for far-off lands. During the height of Portland's maritime trade in the late 1800s, the Shanghai Tunnels became instrumental in this illicit trade. Saloon owners, corrupt officials, and ruthless gangs collaborated to lure victims into bars and gambling dens under false pretenses. Once intoxicated or incapacitated, these unfortunate souls were dragged through trapdoors hidden beneath saloon floors and transported via the tunnels to awaiting ships. Many never saw daylight again, disappearing into the annals of history as unwilling participants in voyages they had no choice but to endure. The conditions within the tunnels were nothing short of deplorable. Dimly lit by oil lamps, the narrow passages reeked of mildew and decay, their walls slick with condensation. The air was thick with the stench of fear and desperation, mingling with the sounds of muffled screams and pleading voices. For those unfortunate enough to awaken in the tunnels, realization dawned quickly: escape was nearly impossible. Guards patrolled the passages, ensuring compliance through violence and intimidation. Some captives were held in makeshift cells carved into the earth, their only company the rats scurrying across dirt floors and the constant drip of water seeping through the ceiling. Over time, stories of those who vanished into the tunnels began to surface, fueling rumors of hauntings and supernatural occurrences. Descendants of victims claimed their ancestors' spirits returned to haunt the very places where they met their grim fates. Modern-day explorers and paranormal investigators have reported a myriad of unsettling phenomena while venturing into the tunnels. Visitors often describe hearing faint footsteps echoing through empty corridors, despite being alone. Others recount feeling sudden drops in temperature, accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread, as though unseen eyes are watching their every move. In one particularly harrowing account, a tour guide swore she saw the translucent figure of a man chained to a wall, his face contorted in anguish before vanishing into thin air. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Shanghai Tunnels is the presence of disembodied voices. Audio recordings captured during investigations reveal faint whispers pleading for help or cursing their captors in languages long forgotten. Some claim to hear the distinct sound of chains rattling, reminiscent of the restraints used to subdue prisoners. Others report catching snippets of conversations spoken in hushed tones, as if plotting the next abduction. These auditory anomalies add an extra layer of terror to an already menacing environment, leaving visitors questioning whether they truly are alone. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Shanghai Tunnels continue to attract thrill-seekers and history buffs alike. Guided tours offer a glimpse into this shadowy underworld, allowing curious minds to walk the same paths trodden by victims over a century ago. Yet, for all its historical significance, the tunnels remain a place of palpable unease. Those who dare to descend into their depths must grapple with the knowledge that they tread upon ground soaked with the blood, sweat, and tears of countless innocents. As each new visitor steps into the darkness, they become part of a legacy defined by exploitation, cruelty, and the lingering specter of those who never escaped. In the heart of Portland, the Shanghai Tunnels serve as a grim reminder of humanity's capacity for greed and depravity. Their haunted halls echo with the cries of the past, refusing to let the truth fade into obscurity. For those brave enough to explore their secrets, the tunnels promise an unforgettable encounter with Oregon's darkest chapter, a journey into a subterranean nightmare where history and horror intertwine. The Pittock Mansion, a haunting legacy of love and loss perched atop a hill overlooking the sprawling cityscape of Portland, the Pittock Mansion stands as a grand architectural marvel, embodying both the opulence and fragility of early 20th century America. Completed in 1914, this French Renaissance-style estate was the crowning achievement of Henry Piddock, a self-made newspaper magnate who rose from humble beginnings to become one of Oregon's wealthiest and most influential figures. With sweeping views of Mount Hood, meticulously manicured gardens, and interiors adorned with imported marble and hand-carved woodwork, the mansion symbolized the pinnacle of success. Yet behind its ornate facade lies a tale of love, tragedy, and spectral unrest that has earned it a place among Oregon's most haunted landmarks. Henry and Georgiana Piddock, the original occupants of the mansion, shared a love story that spanned 6 decades. Married in 1860, the couple weathered life's challenges together, raising 5 children and building a legacy rooted in hard work and philanthropy. Georgiana, known for her grace and generosity, was the heart of the household, hosting lavish gatherings that brought together Portland's elite. Henry, ever the visionary, poured his energy into expanding his media empire, which included publications like The Oregonian. Together, they created a home filled with warmth and vitality, a sanctuary where family bonds flourished and dreams took flight. However, the idyllic life they built came crashing down in 1917 when a catastrophic flood swept through the region, devastating parts of Portland and irreparably damaging the mansion. The disaster marked the beginning of a downward spiral for the Piddocks. Henry fell seriously ill shortly thereafter, succumbing to his ailments in 1919 at the age of 84. Georgiana, heartbroken and frail, followed him just 2 years later, passing away in the same bedroom where her husband had drawn his last breath. Their deaths left an indelible void in the mansion, transforming it from a beacon of prosperity into a silent monument of loss. It wasn't long before reports of strange occurrences began to surface. Servants tasked with maintaining the property claimed to hear soft piano music drifting through the halls, even though no instrument had been played in years. Others described seeing the silhouette of a woman in Victorian attire gazing wistfully out of the windows, her reflection visible only in mirrors. Over time, these sightings coalesced into the legend of Georgiana's ghost, said to wander the mansion searching for her beloved husband. Guests visiting the estate have reported feeling an inexplicable chill in certain rooms, accompanied by the faint scent of roses, a favorite flower of Georgiana's. Some swear they've caught glimpses of her spirit brushing past them, her touch as light as a breeze. But Georgiana isn't the only presence believed to haunt the Piddock mansion. The spirits of other family members and staff are also thought to linger within its walls. One particularly active entity is rumored to be Lucy, the Piddock's youngest daughter, who died tragically at the age of 23. Visitors staying overnight in her former bedroom often recount waking up to find the bedcovers neatly folded back, as if someone had tucked them in. Others describe hearing childish laughter echoing through the halls, only to discover no children present. In one chilling incident, a tour guide leading a group through the mansion swore she saw a young girl sitting on the grand staircase, her dress shimmering faintly in the dim light. When addressed, the figure vanished without a trace. The mansion's library, once Henry Piddock's private retreat, is another hotspot for paranormal activity. Paranormal investigators conducting overnight sessions have captured compelling evidence of unexplained phenomena in this room. Thermal imaging cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the massive oak desk where Henry conducted business, while audio recorders pick up faint whispers discussing topics ranging from politics to family matters. One investigator even documented what appears to be a shadowy figure pacing back and forth in front of the bookshelves, an apparition that matches descriptions of Henry himself. Despite its haunted reputation, or perhaps because of it, the Piddock Mansion remains a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. Its annual holiday tours draw thousands of visitors eager to experience its festive charm, unaware that they may also brush shoulders with something less tangible. For those brave enough to spend the night, the mansion offers an unparalleled opportunity to connect with its spectral inhabitants. Whether you're drawn by its architectural splendor or the thrill of encountering the unknown, the Piddock Mansion promises an unforgettable experience where the boundaries between past and present blur, and the spirits of those who came before refuse to fade quietly into oblivion. As we continue our exploration of Oregon's haunted places, few locations rival the emotional resonance and spectral energy contained within the walls of the Pittock mansion. It serves as a poignant reminder that even the grandest achievements are fleeting, and that love, though powerful, cannot conquer all, not even death itself. The Wolf Creek Inn, a culinary ghost story nestled along the scenic banks of Wolf Creek in southwestern Oregon, the Wolf Creek Inn stands as a testament to the enduring charm of the Old West. Established in 1883, this rustic yet elegant inn served as a vital stopover for stagecoach travelers traversing the rugged terrain between California and Oregon. With its warm hospitality, hearty meals, and cozy accommodations, the inn quickly became a beloved landmark. However, beneath its welcoming exterior lies a tapestry of spectral tales woven into its very foundation, making it one of Oregon's most haunted destinations. Among these stories, none is more intriguing than that of Doris Wiggins, the ghostly cook whose culinary prowess continues to tantalize both the living and the dead. Doris Wiggins arrived at the Wolf Creek Inn in the early 1900s, bringing with her a reputation for crafting mouth-watering dishes that drew patrons from miles around. Known affectionately as Ma, Doris ruled the kitchen with an iron skillet and a heart full of kindness. Her signature dish, a rich venison stew simmered with wild herbs harvested from the surrounding forest, became legendary among travelers seeking solace from the harsh realities of frontier life. Yet, despite her jovial demeanor and unmatched skill, Doris harbored a deep sorrow stemming from the loss of her only son, who perished in a mining accident. It was said that her grief infused every meal she prepared, imbuing them with an ethereal quality that transcended mere sustenance. Tragedy struck in 1927 when a fire broke out in the inn's kitchen, consuming much of the structure and claiming several lives, including Doris's. Though the building was eventually rebuilt, the memory of Ma Wiggins lived on, not just in the hearts of those who had savored her cooking but in the very walls of the inn itself. Guests began reporting strange occurrences linked to the kitchen, where the faint aroma of roasting meat and freshly baked bread would waft through the air, even when no food was being prepared. Staff members spoke of pots and pans moving on their own, ingredients mysteriously rearranging themselves, and the unmistakable sound of someone humming old folk tunes while chopping vegetables. One of the most compelling accounts comes from a chef hired to revamp the inn's menu in the 1950s. Upon arriving, he found the kitchen in disarray, with drawers left open and utensils scattered across counters. Determined to impose order, he spent hours organizing everything meticulously. The following morning, however, he discovered the space exactly as he had found it the day before. Frustrated, he confronted the owner, only to be told that such incidents were commonplace since Doris's passing. Undeterred, the chef decided to stay and make peace with whatever force seemed intent on disrupting his work. Over time, he grew accustomed to the peculiarities, even coming to appreciate the occasional assistance rendered by unseen hands, ingredients prepped faster than humanly possible, sauces seasoned to perfection without his intervention. Visitors to the Wolf Creek Inn frequently recount experiences that suggest Doris's presence lingers beyond the kitchen. Some describe seeing a plump, matronly figure clad in a flour-dusted apron tending to fires in the hearth or tidying up tables in the dining room. Others claim to feel an unexpected warmth envelop them as they enter the premises, accompanied by the comforting scent of cinnamon and sage. Perhaps the most convincing evidence comes from diners who swear they've tasted flavors in their meals that couldn't possibly exist given the current menu. One patron recalled ordering a simple bowl of chicken soup, only to find it bursting with hints of juniper and thyme reminiscent of Doris's famed venison stew. When asked about the recipe, the chef admitted bafflement, insisting he hadn't altered the dish in any way. Paranormal investigators have conducted numerous expeditions within the inn's walls, capturing intriguing data supporting the notion of Doris's continued involvement. EMF detectors routinely spike in areas associated with food preparation, while thermal cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the stove and pantry. Audio recordings capture faint whispers issuing instructions alongside the clatter of unseen utensils hitting countertops. Most strikingly, one team captured footage of a translucent figure bending over a pot bubbling on the range, ladle in hand, before fading into the ether. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Wolf Creek Inn remains a cherished destination for history enthusiasts and culinary aficionados alike. Its blend of rustic charm and spectral intrigue attracts visitors eager to sample its offerings while keeping one eye peeled for signs of Doris's ghostly influence. For those brave enough to dine overnight, the possibility of tasting a meal crafted by hands unseen adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its storied past or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history, the Wolf Creek Inn promises an unforgettable experience where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the echoes of yesterday linger just beyond reach. The Oregon State Penitentiary, a bastion of shadows behind the imposing stone walls of the Oregon State Penitentiary in Salem, lies a labyrinth of horrors that stretch back nearly 2 centuries. Established in 1851, this maximum security facility has housed some of the state's most notorious criminals, serving as both a deterrent to crime and a crucible for unimaginable suffering. Its storied past is etched not only in the scars of its inmates, but also in the spectral energy that permeates its corridors, making it one of Oregon's most haunted institutions. From tales of wrongful imprisonment to accounts of brutal executions, the penitentiary's haunted legacy reads like a grim anthology of human despair. One of the most harrowing chapters in the prison's history involves the execution of Harry Doc Floyd, a convicted murderer whose final moments have left an indelible mark on the facility. Sentenced to death in 1926 for the killing of a sheriff during a botched bank robbery, Floyd maintained his innocence until his dying breath. On the eve of his execution, he reportedly screamed from his cell that he would never leave this place, vowing to haunt its halls forever. True to his word, guards and inmates alike began reporting eerie phenomena shortly after his hanging. The gallows where Floyd met his fate became a focal point of supernatural activity, with maintenance workers swearing they felt icy fingers brushing against their necks as they performed routine inspections. Others claimed to hear muffled cries and gasps emanating from the now disused chamber, as though reliving the terror of Floyd's last seconds. Another tragic figure tied to the penitentiary's haunted lore is Mary Jane Johnson, a woman wrongfully imprisoned in the late 19th century. Accused of poisoning her husband, a crime she vehemently denied, Mary was sentenced to life behind bars despite a lack of concrete evidence. Her mental health deteriorated rapidly under the oppressive conditions, culminating in her death by suicide and solitary confinement. Since then, her spirit is said to roam the cell blocks, searching for justice that eluded her in life. Guards working night shifts have described encountering a gaunt, hollow-eyed woman dressed in tattered prison garb wandering aimlessly through the halls. Attempts to approach her result in her sudden disappearance, leaving behind only the faint scent of lavender, a nod to the sachets she carried to mask the stench of the overcrowded cells. The penitentiary's infirmary, once a place of healing, has transformed into a nexus of malevolent energy. Patients treated there during outbreaks of disease in the early 20th century often succumbed to their illnesses, their bodies hastily disposed of in unmarked graves outside the facility. Current employees tasked with maintaining the area report hearing coughing fits and labored breathing, accompanied by the acrid smell of antiseptic and rot. In one chilling incident, a janitor swore he saw a row of hospital beds occupied by skeletal figures writhing in agony, their faces twisted in silent screams. When he turned to flee, the vision vanished, leaving him shaken and unable to return to work. Even the warden's office, traditionally a bastion of authority, is not immune to the supernatural. Former wardens have recounted waking up to find documents strewn across their desks, ink blots forming cryptic messages warning them to free the innocent. One particularly unnerving account comes from a retired official who swore he felt invisible hands gripping his throat during a late-night meeting, choking him until he passed out. Upon regaining consciousness, he discovered scratches etched into the wooden surface of his desk, spelling out names of prisoners long deceased. Modern-day investigations into the Oregon State Penitentiary's haunted claims have yielded compelling results. Thermal imaging cameras detect significant temperature drops in key locations, including the gallows, solitary confinement cells, and infirmary. Electromagnetic field (EMF) meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to former staff members. Audio recordings capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "I didn't do it," and "Help me escape." Perhaps the most unsettling discovery came during a live investigation broadcast online. Viewers watching the feed spotted a translucent figure darting across the screen in real time, prompting widespread speculation about the nature of the entities haunting the facility, despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation. The Oregon State Penitentiary continues to operate as a functional correctional institution. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to visit, the opportunity to confront the ghosts of Oregon's tumultuous past offers both terror and fascination. Yet, as each new guard crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the shadows that linger within these walls, or risk becoming another chapter in the penitentiary's grim tale. The Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, guardians of the abyss perched precariously on a jagged rock formation 1 mile off the Oregon coast, the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, affectionately dubbed Terrible Tilly, stands as a lonely sentinel against the relentless fury of the Pacific Ocean. Commissioned in 1881, this remote beacon was designed to guide mariners safely through one of the most treacherous stretches of coastline in the United States. Yet, its construction and operation were fraught with peril, earning it a reputation not only as a marvel of engineering but also as a site of profound isolation and tragedy. Today, abandoned and crumbling into the sea, the lighthouse remains one of Oregon's most haunted landmarks, its spectral guardians said to watch over the waters they once protected. The story of Tillamook Rock begins with its creation, a Herculean task that tested the limits of human endurance. Workers braved ferocious storms, slippery surfaces, and towering waves to carve out a foundation on the barren rock. Dozens of men lost their lives during the construction process, their bodies swallowed by the unforgiving ocean before they could be recovered. Those who survived often spoke of feeling watched by unseen eyes, attributing accidents to the wrath of the sea itself. By the time the lighthouse was completed, it had already become synonymous with death and misfortune. Once operational, the lighthouse proved equally punishing for those tasked with maintaining its flame. Keepers stationed at Terrible Tilly endured months of solitude, battling harsh weather conditions and the psychological toll of isolation. Supplies arrived sporadically, communication with the mainland was unreliable, and the constant roar of crashing waves made sleep nearly impossible. Tragedy struck repeatedly. One keeper reportedly went mad, convinced he heard voices calling to him from the depths below. Another drowned while attempting to repair damage caused by a storm. Over time, the lighthouse earned a reputation as a cursed place, where madness and mortality walked hand in hand. The most infamous incident occurred in 1934, when a massive storm battered the structure, severing its connection to the mainland. Inside, 4 keepers huddled together, praying for survival as the waves pounded relentlessly against the walls. 4 days they subsisted on minimal rations, their nerves frayed by the cacophony of destruction outside. When rescue teams finally reached them, they found 3 men alive, but one had perished, his body wedged in a narrow crevice near the base of the tower. His name was William Hargrave, and his ghost is said to haunt the lighthouse to this day. Visitors claim to see a shadowy figure pacing nervously near the lantern room, his movements jerky and unnatural. Others describe hearing faint cries for help carried on the wind, only to realize no one else is present. Even after its decommissioning in 1957, Tillamook Rock refused to relinquish its hold on those who dared approach it. Local fishermen tell tales of boats inexplicably veering off course, drawn toward the lighthouse by an unseen force. Some swear they've seen lights flickering within its abandoned shell, despite the absence of electricity. In one particularly chilling account, a group of divers exploring the surrounding waters reported encountering a translucent figure rising from the depths, its arms outstretched as if beckoning them closer. When they surfaced, shaken and disoriented, their equipment malfunctioned simultaneously, forcing them to abort the dive. Paranormal investigators have ventured to Tillamook Rock, braving its treacherous environs in search of answers. Thermal cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the lantern room and the keeper's quarters, while EMF detectors register unusual spikes throughout the structure. Audio recordings capture faint whispers issuing warnings like, "Turn back," or "Don't come closer." Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from underwater expeditions. Dear reader, as we bring this journey through Oregon's most haunted places to a close, I hope you felt the same spine-tingling allure that has drawn countless souls to these spectral sanctuaries. These stories are more than just campfire tales or urban legends. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the unrelenting passage of time. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of these haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these establishments offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint strains of music in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.